Hi, my name is Kim Ek Jarayawong, Senior Account Manager of Software Business here at AWS. It's my great pleasure to be here as the host of the Fireside Chat session today. In the next 30 minutes, we'll be deep dive into the latest trend in the ad tech and martech industry, how leading brands are empowering their consumer through omnichannel experiences, and the technology behind them. This session is ideal for business and technology leaders in the retail and e-commerce industry who look to reimagine customer engagement and boost customer lifetime value. With me today, I have a panel of industry experts, Sujoy Golan and Nirish Nakpal. Pleasure to have you here today. I would like to start kicking us off by, do a quick round of introduction, starting from Sujoy, please.
Sure, Kim. Glad to be here. My name is Sujoy Golan. I lead the business at Vizury, which is an Affle company. We, as a SaaS company, power omnichannel engagement and conversions for much-loved consumer brands. We help drive higher customer conversions as well as loyalty across a brand's digital channels as well as physical stores. And as part of that, help consumers shop better.
Awesome. Up next, Niraj, please.
Thanks, Kim, for having me. Niraj Nakpal, based in Singapore, looking after ad tech and martech across the entire APJ region. We work from AWS with customers who are both builders and users of ad tech and martech technologies.
Pleasure to have you here today. So just to get us started, I will start with, the first year of pandemic. Everyone knows, app accelerate the move to the digital commerce by 5 years. So what is that all about, right? What is long-lasting impact of the pandemic? How would that shift the trends of the consumer experience? So Joy, would you care to share with me?
Sure, Kim. So competition in digital is, of course, intense and ad targeting is rapidly facing restrictions. Customer acquisition costs from performance marketing have grown anywhere from 30% to 2x over the last 18 months, which also means that this has made it very difficult for brands to acquire and grow business. The first big trend shift that's underway is with brands shifting focus from customer engagement to conversions and from transactions to customer loyalty. And of course, technology has a big role to play here, and which is why all of us are here today. Secondly, in the last quarter of 2021, digital commerce grew 14% year on year compared to 32% from which was the metric from last year. Which means that the digital-only growth rate is slowing. But what makes things different is the emergence of a new paradigm with digital and physical coming closely together, what many of us refer to in the industry as phygital.
There's a new term again, phygital. What do you think?
Leave it to the ad tech and martech industry to come up with new terms to confuse people. It's no secret that the pandemic has really accelerated the shift to a digital-first world. We're home more. We're on our devices more often, and we're constantly browsing, shopping, and researching new products. What we're seeing is marketers are needing to gather an unprecedented volume of first-party data to make sure they're creating a connected and relevant experience for their consumers. And while they are collecting this data, they're also not ruining that customer experience and infringing on privacy and protecting that data at all costs. What we're also seeing is that consumers also expect when they are being messaged by a brand and advertiser, that they're getting the most relevant offers at the right touch point, and while also making sure that their privacy is always protected. From AWS, we enable marketers to build and partner to have these customer retail 360 capabilities, where data from the digital channels and physical stores, be it phygital, as we like to say, are unified across all the consumer experiences. AWS facilitates this merging of in-store retail data and online data to not only improve customer experiences, but also allow retailers to differentiate their brand, influence consumer actions, and most importantly, get sales and increase revenue. The faster retailers can put analytics intelligence to work, the quicker the return of analytic effort, especially if key insights are driven by machine learning recommendations. It's all about the ROI when investing in technologies. As Sujay noted, this change in consumer experience, when consumers are increasingly moving between digital channels and physical stores, and the growth of buy now, pay later options, there's a a shift occurring where the channels need to be more integrated together, and that's the expectation from consumers to date. That's why industry leaders like Vizury leverage AWS technologies to create the best possible experiences across the entire customer lifecycle.
Great, thank you, Niraj. Like as a consumer myself, that absolutely resonates with me. How empowering it feels to be given a choice, to enjoy an in-store experience while at the comfort of your own home or anywhere, shop online.
Without being creepy.
Exactly. And frankly speaking, there are certain items that you still want to examine it, touch and feel before you make a decision to purchase, like apparel or baby products.
Yep.
So now, considering these shifts, right, what are key technology and innovation that we can leverage to improve customer experience? As Vizury is engaging with multiple brands around the world, so Joy, I would love to hear your view.
Sure, Kim. So customers can no longer be siloed. Brands really can't afford to think of customers as, say, here's my web customer, here's my app customer, here's my customer from a conversational channel like WhatsApp, or here's my physical store customers, right? So customers move across channels, that's well known. They move based on what's convenient to them, and which is why brands, or the most successful brands, are creating that shift in thinking. It also gives brands a way to have intimate relationships with their customers and to own their audience, right? Which is very, very important. A new generation of marketing AI or artificial intelligence is already starting to power these one-on-one conversations with customers. And customers, as part of this, are also demanding the power to choose. They are demanding the power to choose whether they want to engage on a certain channel, they want to purchase on a certain channel, basically when and where they want to engage with brands is the power of choice that customers are demanding. And brands really need to meet these needs. They need to catch up, or they risk losing business otherwise. The other side to this is new customer channels, which are gaining traction very fast. Think conversational commerce. These are chat apps which all of us use for a large part of our day. And these are also then very powerful touch points for brands with consumers. And really, I think both these shifts in trends are happening very fast, and brands are catching up very fast, and because these are being driven by customer demands rather than brands saying that, this is our technology and we will put this out first.
Yeah, that's very interesting, right? Can you give us some example to put these to life for our audience?
Sure. Let's take an example. Let's look at consumer. Let's name her Jenny, right? So the weekend's nearing, and Jenny wants to go for a run on Saturday morning. Her old pair of shoes is a bit worn out, and she wants to buy new running shoes, right? She's not super keen on just driving out to the mall and hunting for stores to buy these shoes from. So what does she do in such a case? She searches for her favorite brand, maybe finds stores near her, and then she's able to connect with those stores. And this is where Vizury comes in. We allow Jenny to really connect with these stores from her mobile device, browse inventory, look up products, decide whether to reserve a basket of products or to reserve those shoes, or a few different pair of shoes where she can go to store and try them on, and she knows that the shoes are waiting for her at store. Or really, if she's found something she likes, quickly go ahead and have the shoes delivered to her from her local store, right? In this case, e-commerce would take 2 days for the shoes to reach her.
5 working days, yeah.
Absolutely. We all love instant gratification. And also this actually benefits the brand by reducing return rates, right? Jenny doesn't want to shop for something online, have it reach her, try it on for size, fit, comfort, and then not be happy and then go ahead and return it, right? So this is something that, an option that Jenny loves, and Jenny's happy about, and therefore the brand is happy about.
So it sounds like the commerce or the retailers coming to Jenny and then Jenny is able to decide how she wants to purchase or not purchase, or not be disappointed when she actually goes to the store, which I think is like the worst experience when you see something you like and then it's not there.
Absolutely. And I can see this, the whole retail ecosystem coming together as one, from e-commerce to physical store, to digital payment, to local delivery services, all with the help of the technology.
Yeah. So take an example of, again, maybe Jenny finds something that she likes and wants to purchase online, where stores don't come into the picture. Brands conversion rates are what e-commerce conversion rates are typically 1%, which means more likely Jenny is going to be part of the 99% of consumers who drop off.
I do that all the time, right? Add to cart and don't finish it.
Absolutely. And as a marketer, we're going to try reaching out to Jenny and saying, hey, listen to us. We have something to tell you. Here is where technology and channels like conversational AI are coming together to be able to have real conversations with Jenny or relevant personalized conversations with Jenny on channels that see high response rates.
Or
right?
remind me when the price drops, right?
Absolutely. I've been looking at a pair of shoes. I'm undecided, and if I know that the price has dropped, or that maybe those shoes are running out of stock, how do we reach out to a customer and tell her and let her know and give her the option to quickly make that decision there?
I can totally relate. Growing up in Bangkok, where traffic is no joke, I definitely want to make sure when I make my way down to the store, the item that I want is there at the store. Neeraj, do you have any experience that you care to share with us here?
Well, I think what Sujay has really talked about really is that that customer 360 expectation, right? I am a person and I am engaging with a retailer or brand across different channels and touch points, but I want to be looked at holistically. And where AWS comes in is that we allow for this unification of personas to occur, where I might be going to the store or talking to you on your chatbot or being marketed by email, but I'm still the same person at the end of the day. So AWS provides the technology to allow for that unification to happen. And then once all that data and unification occurs, how do we have the right messaging come through? And that's where personalization comes. So it's not just putting everything in one place, but making sure it's being used appropriately for marketing and advertising purposes, which is the next generation. And that's where we are today, which is really powerful.
Technology must have been playing a big part in this whole shift in customer experience. Can we dive a little bit deeper into what are the technology that we should use in order to empower our brands?
Sure, Kim. So how does all of this come together? Vizury is architected as a set of omnichannel APIs. We are on AWS. We don't necessarily replace any existing omnichannel retail or omnichannel engagement software. We're a customer experience layer that spans across touchpoints, both digital as well as physical, and makes it very easy to integrate and build these journeys. We also power marketing AI on top of popular conversational apps. And traditional marketing automation platforms, in this case, aren't really sufficient, right? So this really takes marketing AI for conversational apps into the next generation. We use AWS Lambda and API Gateway for both our retail and commerce APIs that enable powerful user flows on WhatsApp and other connected channels. Kinesis is used to analyze real-time streaming data from both online as well as brick and mortar touchpoints. And we use Redshift to store and process online and in-store analytics. On the other hand, what we've seen, or what my team's been extremely happy about, is being on AWS that's allowed them to go to market twice as fast, really.
That's cool. The business agility is indeed what AWS is proud to be helping our customer to achieve.
And you mentioned your common APIs across what's already your brands already use. Did you find there's a lot of friction when you work with a brand or advertiser, or how do they get started with working with companies like yourself?
Yeah, in our experience, Neeraj, brands are quite averse to taking up time and effort intensive technology projects.
They're not the experts, right, on technology.
They're not the experts. Tech bandwidth is extremely limited. There are a number of competing priorities in terms of projects, and these are parameters that really drives decision making at organizations. They also figure out or want to figure out their existing tech stack. They don't want to add too many layers to their existing tech stack. Therefore, it's really important to choose technology partners that are easy to integrate with and that are quick and that play well with the existing tech stack at the brand's end. Like we talk about seamless consumer journeys at Vizury, our approach to integrating as well is the same with brands. We are a simple API-based integration within SaaS, and we also come with a large set of out-of-the-box options to integrate with, and which really makes it easy and fast to get started.
That's very powerful. It's not turnkey, but almost as close as possible, it seems.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with this rapid change in the industry, with data fragmentation and shifting in the customer expectation, Niresh, where do you see AWS playing the role of enabling our consumer?
Yeah, it's a very strong position and fortunate in some ways that AWS has been around for 15 years and works with thousands and thousands of advertising and marketing technology leaders to date. Right? And they're trying to navigate shifts in privacy changes and data being in different silos and general confusion of how to even leverage or where to start with using their first-party data. And sometimes even which partners to also work with or not work with, which is an ever-growing challenge. They rely on AWS to really try to innovate as fast as possible, try to get more out of their performance, and work with the right partners to allow them to use their data so they can do audience segmentation, look at lifetime value, and make sure that when they are messaging them, that has the most relevant marketing against it. And so that we are part of that journey, and traditionally people don't associate AWS with marketing, and we're aware of that. But behind the scenes, we are that source of technology to allow for that experimentation and growth to occur. Given what we talked earlier about privacy and first-party data, a new category has really emerged in the past 5 years from most traditionally called DMPs or data management platforms to now first-party data platforms or CDPs. We love our acronyms for some reason. At AWS, what we provide is the components for a company or brand to have their own CDP-like technologies to allow for data to be stored, sorted, cleansed, and be able to combine and action against for media activation. And so that's where AWS is today on that part of that journey. And ultimately, what we're trying to see is what Sujay mentioned, is we want to help customers innovate faster. And you mentioned 2x time to market. Well, one of our areas for this in first-party data platforms is that we can actually spin out a data lake in days, which would traditionally take...
In days?
Yeah, that usually just take 1 year plus. And what we said earlier, like brands aren't here to build technologies; they're here to sell product and provide good experiences.
That sounds awesome. Business agility is really something that for you to stay ahead of the pack, all the brands have to be thinking about that deeply.
Yeah. And they're trying to understand where they can put their data and how to make sense of it. Right? There's no secret to there's more data than ever. And brands and advertisers and marketers are trying to understand what they can do with that data once it's in one place. So step one of that journey is getting it in one place, in a data lake of sorts, and then using AWS to work on projects that look at identity, where they can start creating golden records as a single source of truth. So you are Kim, I am Neeraj, I am Sujoy, and it doesn't matter where we're going or what channels we're being engaged across. We also allow companies to start innovating faster, as I mentioned, and like Affle, Vizury mentioned, to get products out two to 3 times faster than they normally would in a development cycle. And that's really the power of the cloud, is focusing on not just engineering, but instead providing a real business and real outcomes against it.
What about cost reduction aspect?
Yeah, it is a challenge, of course, that with all this new data and all these touch points, especially around real-time bidding, that cost reduction and latency is something that customers AWS customers are really concerned about. And what we have worked with in the industry is really reducing that cost and providing the standards that can sometimes reduce costs up to 50% with the right engineering and right solution guidances in place.
And I heard performance is the key in the ad tech and martech world as well. You deal with milliseconds of decision making. Yeah,
and imagine yourself, right? If Jenny is browsing on WhatsApp and then she goes to a store and then gets an email, she wants to make sure with that 1, 2, 3 seconds that she's not getting the wrong messages at times. So that's where AWS comes in to provide that ability to look at that data in real time.
I'm so happy that AWS can help companies keeping the rare data scientists resources to focus on what matters most, right? And then we remove all the undifferentiated heavy lifting from them. That helps company increase business agility, keep higher performance while keeping their IT spend at bay. So Joy, do you have any real life example of the ROIs that brands can get from adopting some of these out of the box products?
Yeah, so customers who use Vizury typically experience 15 to 20 times return on investment, and this is return on technology investment.
Seriously, 15 to 20 times.
Yes, this number is from the latest case study we've done with Fossil, which is a much loved fashion brand. So they've experienced a 20x ROI over the past year and a half, not as a single one-time spike, but consistent and related to direct impact of revenue.
What are the few key metrics that you see being the thing that matters to your customer and your customer care about the most?
So there are two metric movers here. One is the customer acquisition cost. Using Vizury conversational AI has shown to bring down the cost of customer acquisition by about 23%. And we do this through better conversion rates of traffic or of users that the brand already has. On the other hand, customer lifetime value, which is a very important metric for brands with growing businesses, have increased at an average rate of 30%. And this happens through more repeat purchases and therefore better customer loyalty. The biggest levers to really achieve growth and on these two metrics in recent times have been the launch of conversational AI or the growth of conversational AI on chat apps, as well as digital and physical coming together overall to enable seamless consumer choices.
Wow, that's massive.
It seems like there has been that you trust to do commerce now with a chatbot or a conversational AI. Where if you thought about this 4 or 5 years ago, a person may not be comfortable engaging with a brand through that channel. So that's a really interesting point to see is that expectation is changing and people want that convenience.
Absolutely. I think, and the other thing, Neeraj, is it's not bots all the way.
Okay.
These are engagements which are often driven by the customer saying, hey, here is something I want, or I'd like brown leather shoes, or I'm looking to return something. Right? Then really brands need to find the easiest way to meet the customer's needs. And bots are one part of the solution, but there's a lot more that really drives seamless engagement and conversions across these channels.
So there's more human touch now.
Absolutely, and human touch is seamless, right? Across both bringing together automation as well as humans who need to step in at a certain point of time, and which is also really an indication of why virtual selling as well is growing and technology that's driving virtual selling.
That's great.
So Sujoy, how do you see this omnichannel evolving, and how can brand be future ready?
Brands need to adapt to what their customers are asking for. And these shifts, these needs are changing very fast. Consumers don't see themselves as tied to specific channels of a brand, and which makes first-party data really important in helping brands run relevant marketing to consumers. Conversational AI is a huge enabler in order to do this. Brands need to have a clear strategy on conversational AI and marketing. On the other hand, connecting digital and physical touchpoints and allowing consumers to make the choice of where they want to shop from, when they want to shop from, how they want to shop from is super important, of course. And all of this coming together really helps brands meet consumer needs, creates happy consumers, and of course, profitable brands.
Yeah, I really couldn't agree any more on that, because we are, I think, at a very interesting inflection point of, we coined this term phygital for a reason, and brands and advertisers and the agencies that work with them, are have an opportunity now to start building for the next generation of commerce. And especially with cookies going away and identifiers, right? Now is not the time to wait and see and wait for the next solutions to be developed. Now is really the time to start experimenting and working with partners like Vizury on what's right for them, and then iterating based off those success that they see. So, get off the sidelines and get out there and start experimenting is what I would say is the best course of action.
That's super insightful. Thanks, Neeraj and Sujoy, for sharing with us today. And thank you all again for attending our session. I hope you are as inspired as I am to embark on this new customer experience journey. To find out more about Vizury's solutions for the quick jumpstart, or get in touch with our AWS AdTech and MarTech Worldwide Specialist team, please scan the QR code provided in the additional resource slide that should be displayed to you right now. Lastly, check out AWS Skill Builder, where more than 500 free digital courses are available for you at your convenience. Join AWS certified community to participate in discussion forum, learning, and networking opportunities. As we strive to provide a more relevant content to you in your next event, we really appreciate your feedback on what you would like to hear more from us. Please do take a few moments to fill out our survey form and let us know what you think. Till next time.